Is this the end of an era for Caterpillar's legendary engines? The C7S was supposed to bring cat power to pickups, and for a brief moment, it did. But then, everything changed. Why did it disappear so quickly? And why is it now locked only to commercial applications? Stick around till the end, because what really happened behind the scenes will surprise you. The engine that was supposed to change everything. When Caterpillar announced the C7S, the diesel world buzzed with excitement. For decades, Caterpillar meant durability. It meant engines you could run in a dozer for years without breaking a sweat. The thought of that same pedigree making its way into lighter trucks sounded like a dream. Engineers described the C7S as a compact powerhouse, capable of impressive torque curves and solid fuel efficiency for its size. It wasn't just talk either. Prototype testing suggested it could compete with the best from Cummins, Powerstroke, and Duramax. While carrying the badge of a company that built half the world's heavy machinery, people imagined what it would mean to own a pickup with a cat badge under the hood. Caterpillar was a brand people trusted on construction sites and farms, and now that trust would carry over to the road. Early trade show appearances drew crowds. Journalists praised its clean design, robust build, and unique injection system. Even dealerships were quietly preparing for a world where Cat engines might sit alongside Ford and GM offerings. It felt like Caterpillar was finally stepping out of its comfort zone and giving enthusiasts what they had begged for. But underneath that optimism was a storm no one saw coming. The development team pushed the engine hard to meet light-duty emissions targets. They cut weight, introduced new components, and pushed design tolerances in ways Caterpillar's traditional engines never had to face. The result was a product that looked great on paper, but hadn't faced the brutal testing Cat engines were known for. The excitement was real, but so were the hidden cracks that would soon show. The catch nobody saw coming. Within months of hitting the market in limited numbers, odd reports started trickling in. Fleet managers noticed certain units running hotter than expected under load. Independent mechanics found that parts of the emission system were failing prematurely, causing rough idling and warning lights that baffled even seasoned diesel techs. Owners who expected rock-solid reliability were suddenly dealing with repairs that felt uncomfortably frequent for a Caterpillar product. What made the situation worse was how unprepared Caterpillar seemed to handle these issues. In heavy equipment, downtime was expected. Machines were built to be fixed on site, and parts networks were everywhere. But the pickup market was different. These were individual owners, contractors, and small businesses, not fleets with spare units to lean on. A single truck down meant real financial pain. As forms filled with complaints, something else came to light. The C7S's emission system, a critical feature for light-duty compliance, was fragile. It required extremely precise operating conditions. Any variation, low-quality fuel, extended idling, even hot weather, could throw it off. And when it did, owners faced expensive repairs and repeated downtime. Caterpillar's reputation as an unbreakable brand started to crack. The dream of a Cat-powered pickup suddenly felt like a risky gamble. When owners started noticing the cracks, at first people chalked it up to growing pains. "It's a new engine," they said. "Give it time." But time didn't fix things. Instead, more problems surfaced. Fuel injectors failed at alarming rates. The turbo design, meant to provide quick spool in a light truck, proved delicate compared to the beefy turbos Cat used in big rigs. Even routine maintenance wasn't as straightforward as owners hoped, with parts availability becoming a nightmare. YouTube videos began popping up of frustrated owners showing fault codes they couldn't clear. Diesel shops that once praised Caterpillar started warning customers away. In one interview, a mechanic said, "I've worked on Cat equipment for 30 years. I've never seen them put out something this temperamental." That quote spread like wildfire across diesel forums, and trust in the C7S eroded even further. What hurt the most for longtime fans was the sense of betrayal. Caterpillar had built a legacy on over-engineering, on making engines that outlived the machines they powered. The C7S didn't feel like that. It felt like a rushed experiment, and customers were paying the price. And then came the move that sealed its fate. Why Caterpillar pulled the plug on pickups. Caterpillar made a stunning announcement. They were pulling out of on-road pickup applications entirely. No more C7S for your light truck. No expansion of the program. Instead, the engine would be confined to commercial platforms where Caterpillar could better control operating conditions and service networks. Behind closed doors, the reasons were clear. Emissions compliance was eating them alive. The cost of keeping the C7S updated to meet changing standards outweighed the potential market share. On top of that, Caterpillar had underestimated how demanding pickup owners could be. Unlike fleet operators who plan downtime and maintenance schedules, individual owners expected their trucks to just work every single day without drama. For Caterpillar, the calculation was brutal but simple. Staying in the pickup game would mean sinking more money into an engine that was already staining their reputation. So they pulled back. The C7S would live on in certain commercial trucks, buses, and equipment where Caterpillar could control the narrative and limit the damage. But for the dreamers who wanted a Cat-powered pickup, that dream was dead. Confined to commercial, the aftermath. The decision sent shockwaves through the diesel world. Overnight, the C7S went from a symbol of excitement to a cautionary tale. Pickup enthusiasts who had bought early units felt abandoned. Many scrambled to sell, while others tried to baby their engines through repeated repairs. Meanwhile, in the commercial space, the C7S quietly kept running, albeit with modifications and support networks that most pickup owners never had access to. Dealerships that had bet big on Caterpillar's entry into pickups were left with awkward inventories. Some tried to pitch the C7S as a rare collectible, while others offered steep discounts just to move them off the lot. The ripple effect even hit Caterpillar's image in construction circles, with some longtime customers questioning if the company had lost its way. Yet in a strange twist, the C7S's withdrawal from pickups created a sort of underground cult following. Some enthusiasts saw it as a rare gem, a what could have been engine worth preserving. Forums now trade tips on how to keep them alive, how to retrofit better parts, and how to work around the quirks that Caterpillar never fully solved. But the larger market moved on, and the C7S became a footnote in diesel history, one that still stings. The lessons that haunt the industry. What does the C7S disaster teach us? For one, even giants like Caterpillar can stumble when they step outside their core. Building engines for bulldozers is not the same as building engines for pickup trucks. The expectations are different, the stakes are different, and the margin for error is razor thin. It also shows how quickly brand loyalty can evaporate when trust is broken. Caterpillar had decades of goodwill, but the C7S proved that one misstep in the wrong market can erase years of credibility. Competitors like Cummins and Duramax watched closely and doubled down on their own reliability and emission strategies, learning from Cat's mistakes without suffering the same backlash. Most importantly, the story of the C7S is a reminder that chasing new markets without truly understanding them can lead to disaster. Caterpillar thought their name alone would carry them, but the C7S revealed that even legends have to prove themselves all over again. The forgotten warranty nightmare. One thing that rarely gets talked about when people discuss the C7S disaster is the chaos surrounding its warranty support. Caterpillar had decades of experience backing up their heavy equipment engines with strong parts and networks and service contracts. But when the C7S slipped into pickups, that same system didn't translate. Owners were suddenly caught in a tug-of-war between truck manufacturers and Caterpillar dealers. Imagine breaking down on a job site and calling your local Cat dealer, only to be told they couldn't touch it because it was installed in a pickup. Then you'd call the truck dealership, and they'd blame the engine maker for the fault, leaving you stuck with a machine no one wanted to claim. Stories surfaced of owners waiting weeks, sometimes months, for warranty approvals or replacement parts. For businesses that depended on those trucks, the delays were devastating. What made it worse was the cost of out-of-pocket repairs for an engine that was supposed to save money in the long run. Replacement injectors and emissions components weren't cheap, and when you factored in downtime, many owners felt like they had been sold a dream that turned into a financial nightmare. It's a chapter of the C7S saga that shows how even a great engine, if not backed by proper support, can destroy trust faster than any technical flaw ever could. A final twist. You didn't see coming. Here's the part that most people don't know. Despite its failure in pickups, the C7S quietly evolved in the background. In certain commercial applications, delivery trucks, vocational rigs, and specialized equipment, Caterpillar engineers worked out many of the flaws. Updated versions received better cooling systems, improved injectors, and more robust turbos. In those environments, the C7S found a strange second life, performing reliably for fleets that knew how to maintain them. It's a bittersweet ending. The engine that could have been a revolution on the road found stability only in the places it was never meant to leave. Enthusiasts still debate what might have happened if Caterpillar had invested just a little more time, a little more testing, and a little more patience. Would we see Cat pickups everywhere today? Or was the C7S simply doomed from the start? Whatever the answer, one thing's for sure. The C7S stands as one of the most fascinating what-ifs in diesel history. It's a story of ambition, overreach, and the limits of even the most trusted names. So was this the end of an era? Maybe. Or maybe it was just a hard lesson that even giants can fall when they step out of their comfort zone. If you enjoyed this deep dive into the Caterpillar C7S disaster, don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe for more stories that dig beneath the surface. Drop your thoughts in the comments. Would you have taken a chance on a cat-powered pickup? And make sure to stick around, because next time, we're uncovering another engine story that will blow your mind. Thanks for watching.